Coke machine for real fishing. Here I am out at Kinsman Beach with my buddy Jan here. We've been out here for a little bit, seen one perch come up so far, but we're open airing it, enjoying the warm weather. A little bit of snow's coming down. We found a box out here that was floating around. Just somebody had crotched it out on the ice. I mean, it's made of some kind of wood actually. I'll just turn the camera around so you can see. It's on the other side of the snowmobile over here. Not sure what it is, but there's some metal pieces. If anybody's missing it, you know, you can come and collect it. I'm sure it's not super important, but probably best not to leave it out here. All right. So I'm hoping to get into some perch. I've had some pretty good luck with perch out here as of late. I can see from the camera here. I'm just going to turn around so you guys don't have to watch me wiping the booger off my nose. Give me a second. You didn't realize it was that bad. So Corey, you say you'll take me out before the season ends, eh? It's quickly coming to an end. Species, how are you doing out there? All right, I'm going to lower the camera down here so you guys can see the action. And like I said, I'm out here with Jan. So we got two people fishing. Hopefully we see some kind of action. I noticed the last time that I was out this way that it seemed like the perch were all in a bit of a rush to eat right before the sun went down. So I'm hoping we see that, and failing that we see some wallies coming in. So far we've had a few marks on the radar, but nothing too crazy. So let me just position this. Get that a little better for you. I need to bring out a bucket so you guys can see it directly, but see if I can zoom it in a touch. What's that? Yeah, I think it should be. Oh, looks like I got a fish down there. Let's see if we can get him to bite. Come on. Where'd he go? All right, so we took off. He was right at the bottom and then disappeared. Let me see if I can zoom in the camera here a little bit. There we go. It should be a little better. So I got my fish finder in one hole and my rod in the other. So hopefully that helps things. Definitely helps with not having to mess around with your cable when there's a fish on. I just need to get the fish to bite, you know. So today I'm rocking a minnow clapper to start with a salted minnow on there. Jan's got his, what's the name of that spoon you like using? Tangler. And that's one of those triangular shaped spoons, is that right?
Yeah, I use it 90% of the time.
Right. I think I've seen something similar. It was called like a rocket spoon or something like that. Very similar shape. But yeah, how's everybody doing out there? Just gonna go to the top of the comments here. Chilling with David B. How you doing? Corey. Specky fishing. Things are good. I'm gonna be putting out a video shortly that's me catching a whole whack of perch in the place where I used to live in the Yellock area there. I had a really good day. One of those days I was out there. Yeah, chilling with David B. Yeah, we gotta love the perch out here when you get into a good bite. Here we go. Come on. No, don't do it. Come on. There we go. All right. So let's see what we got here. Feels perchy. Feels perchy. It is indeed perchy. All right. So I got enough perch in my freezer that I don't need to keep this guy. But it's a good start to this day. Pinky Shardy clapper there. That perch dove in and then shot back out. Looks like there's another one down there too. Let's see. Of course, he's gone now. Sure. I'm using salted minnow garlic flavor here. My own recipe. All right. Looks like you can see. Oh, man, I lost that salted minnow already. All right, give me 1 second. So when was the last time you were out here, Jan?
The last time I was on Kinsman was with you, actually.
Oh yeah?
I've been, going a lot farther.
Yeah, yeah.
Like you said, once you get used to it, you start going farther, right?
Yeah, yeah. Okay. All right. Got myself the old salted minnow. Lay that down there. Huh. Got one of these situations where your line is frozen to your reel. All right, down we go. That's good to start. Get a perch out of the hole. Andy Martin, how you doing? Paul Brown, are you done fishing up here now, Paul? And have those minnow clappers that I sent you come your way yet? Specky Fishing. The day after the live report or the live stream that I did last week, I had a really good morning out in that area. It wasn't even a good morning. It would probably be just a steady day of catching fish, like all day long, and then towards the end of the day, it really picked up. I caught 4 walleye and I don't know, probably 20 something perch. Christian Pum, how you doing? I thought I saw a fish down there for a second there.
Sit down, you get a fish.
Oh, John's got a fish on. Another perch. Maybe they're coming in. All right. Going through some more comments here. 666 Mario. 66666 Mario. It's snow out there. Was out all day at the house. No snow. Looks like we'll use the snow blower again tomorrow. Yeah. It's definitely coming down a little bit here right now. Corey, I didn't know Jesse was in the hospital. That's unfortunate to hear. Backyard garden. So you say, hey there, Coke, going out to the girls' college tomorrow for the first time. I assume that's the nunnery here. That's where we are right now. G star. Oh, John's got another one. There you go. Zoom in on that perch. There we go. All right. The perch are coming in for that last bit of light bite. Paul Brown, it's I think the temperature has got to be what, like -5?
Yeah, it's not bad at all.
It's not bad. There's definitely no wind, which makes a huge difference. That's for sure. Yeah, as soon as we got out here, like I had my medium coat on, and I was like, I don't know if I need the full big coat, but I got it on here, and I was like sweating quite a bit for a while. So it's like one of those days where you can hang out in the open air without the wind. When there's no wind, it's not so bad. So Paul Brown, you say you're done for the ice season? Still no clappers, eh? Well, hopefully by the end of the week they get to you. I'm gonna have some choice words for the post office, because I had 2 major packages, like bigger packages, go out this year that if this one doesn't get to you, it'll be the second one that didn't make it to its destination. And I'm like, what's up with that? They'll probably be like, you need tracking on everything. I'm like, you telling me the rest of your postal service is so unreliable that everything's got to be tracked? This year is the first time I've had problems. Last year, somebody gave me the wrong address and it ended up coming back to me. That was the biggest problem. And that was it. G Star is saying, what's my favorite rod? I've been using these Masuda rods since the company gave them to me a couple years back, and they've held up very well. I also have a Fenwick rod that I like using, but I've mostly been using these Masuda rods. I guess test them out, and so far so good. My only criticism is if I put them onto like any kind of tilting rod holder, that because of the shape, it sometimes makes it a little bit challenging to get it on there in the right way, so that it tilts when a fish bites, Claudio for Freedom says, hey Coke, hope you're doing good. Hope you see you this weekend. I'll be at the Waltonian. Well, if you happen to be hanging around the Birch Grove parking lot between 9 a.m. and 1 p.m., or if you happen to pass by there, I will be there, and you will definitely see me. And that's not very far from the Waltonian, just down the road a little. Eugene Christen, how you doing out there? You'll be back tomorrow with South River Resort. You'll probably see me out there. Oh, sorry, I was just reading your message there, Corey. So Jesse crashed his sled, broke his femur, hit the crack in front of his house. Ouch, man. Send Jesse my best wishes. How long ago did that happen? Jeez, that sounds terrible. Paul Brown, oh, looks like I got a fish coming here. Gotcha. All right, we got another one. This one feels, oh yeah, this one's a little bigger. Okay. Mr. Jumbo Perch again. So I'm not keeping any perch today because I caught a bunch the other day that are still in my freezer, but nice jumbo. This guy's probably maybe 10 inches, not crazy huge, but not bad. All right. Oops. Yeah, what I was going to say there, Paul, was that I start to wonder if some of the post office guys here see my sticker on my package, the sticker with the Coke machine face on it, and then they're like, this must be some lures going out. Time for me to fill my tackle box. But I don't know. So maybe when I replace those lures, if you never get them there, Paul, I will. I'll just write my regular human name on it and not advertise that it's from 4-wheel fishing at all. See if they get to you. I think with the other package that I sent out that went missing, I ended up sending the replacements in 2 separate packages, and then that got to the guy fine. So I don't know. Not sure. I feel like I put the 2 packages that disappeared in the same drop box. So maybe somebody's fishing them out of there. Yeah, like I feel like I've had pretty good luck with Canada Post, but yeah, when it would be one thing if like a small package went missing, but like the package going to Paul was the prize for people who have submitted pictures to me for the minnow clapper giveaway. So it was $100 worth of minnow clappers. So it was a lot of them. So it kind of sucks when that goes missing. If it's missing, I'm hoping it shows up by the end of the week for them. But like, yeah, the other package went missing, and yeah, again, it was one that had over $100 worth of minnow clappers in it. So it sucks when those kind of things go missing. But it's part of selling lures, I guess. We got another fish coming in here. Okay, now we'll come back. Sure, he left. He'll be back. Let's hope. So, hey, how are you doing, Nick Bruce? Welcome to the party. So Jesse broke his femur there last Wednesday. He's able to move around. He's able to move around already. That's good. I know my dad like shattered his femur entirely, and he yeah, he was out of commission for a while, but it probably was more extensive. We'll figure something out there, Paul. I know you're saying for me not to send more, but we'll figure something out. I'm hoping they get you. They get there, and then we'll see what happens. But I had a buddy who works for the post office, and he was telling me, you know, um, he was saying there's no real way for me to trace things. But I figure like if there's 2 envelopes floating around in the world with my like 4-wheel fishing sticker on it, then there's something to look for. Darren says, like the stream, guys, if you like it. That's for sure. I appreciate that. Liking it makes more fish bite. Let's hope. So Joe, you say broken femur sucks. Have you broken a femur? I know it happens. It's never happened to me. I like to think I got really solid bones, but I also haven't had any crazy accidents yet. I have dropped a 25-pound weight on my toes before, and that was not fun. And that injury lasted a very long time. Yeah, David B says maybe the postman watches your channel. I think, you know, I don't want to get all conspiratorial.
Better be careful what you say.
Yeah, I guess maybe I should stop talking right now before all my mail starts ending up in funny places. So Corey says he's got a rod in his femur, so he's able to walk with it now. The next day, wow, modern medicine, eh? That's pretty good. Yeah, like my dad when he shattered his femur, I I think it was some sort of complication related to a certain medicine he had been taking that was supposed to like make his bones stronger, but they also at the same time made them brittle. So when he tripped in his living room, he like more or less shattered a lot of his femur bone, and then it, from what he described, it seemed like it was kind of like a noodle. His leg, I mean. He said it took him an hour to crawl from where he had the injury to the phone. So that was a bit of a ordeal. But yeah, he was walking around with like a walker and stuff like that for a good few days or a good few months, I think, while everything set in. But he also is a very old man, whereas Jesse, you know, not as old, obviously. So Nick Bruce, you said you had a fantastic weekend on Nip. You caught over 50 fish. What part of the lake were you fishing there? Was that I feel like you told me. Were you going out from deep water there? Yeah, so Joe says not him, but his brother-in-law. Paul Brown, you say any plans on any new lure designs, Coke? Do the zappers sell as well in the summer? To be honest with you, the funny thing with the zappers is when I released those, I got very few sales, and I more or less just have a stack of them sitting in a bag. Um, and you know, it was kind of a mixed blessing because they were a bit of a pain in the ass to make. So I was like, well, at least I'm not getting crazy amounts of orders because they actually take me a little bit longer to make them than like the minnow clappers do. So, but my brother's been using them quite often and having quite a bit of success. So maybe I'll be bringing them back. I also had a whole other lure that I was gonna release this year that I didn't end up making. I haven't come up with an official name for it yet, but I guess like every year on the ice reports, everything gets, you know, I get caught by the wave of doing the reports before I can complete all the plans that I have. So it was basically like a kind of jig that had like some extra stuff to it. So I will be releasing new stuff maybe next ice fishing season. And right now I'm sort of in an argument with the my online store provider because they keep trying to jack up the price for the yearly subscription. So I'm looking into alternatives. Like the first year it was like a certain price and then they basically doubled the price, which was not impressive. And they gave me like a bit of a deal, and then this year they're like, oh yeah, by the way, we're gonna add, it's gonna be more expensive next year. I'm like, you know what, I picked you guys because you had a better price than Shopify, and now I'm looking at everything else. So, and you know what, like I get, like for the next couple of months I probably won't get much business at all at my online store, in which case I will more or less just put my store on mute for maybe a month or so while I figure out my new plan. I'm also planning, years ago I was selling t-shirts, as some of the longtime followers probably know, and I'm actually planning on selling some not fishing related t-shirts. I had a whole bunch of designs sort of ready to go for Halloween last year, but then the people who I was relying on to make my t-shirts sort of more or less just disappeared off the face of the planet. I mean, their website still exists, but I ordered a bunch of shirts from them, never heard from them. So I obviously need to pick a new t-shirt manufacturer. That's something I'll be doing again in the fall, or probably like in August. I'll be releasing a whole bunch of super cool t-shirt designs that I put together that aren't fishing related per se, but just for fun. So, so Nick Bruce, Bams took you out taxi service, eh? Sweet. So specky fishing, landed 64 and lost a few pike, 4 ling. Were you out with an operator there, specky fishing, or were you out independently checking out the lake? So Joe caught a 34-inch pike last weekend. Nice. So you say, Joe says the pike seemed to be active last weekend, bunch of hammer handles. I don't think I've caught a pike this year. Actually, you know what? I was fishing out here at Kinsman Beach one morning. It was like one of these situations where you're like, I'm going to come out for 1 hour after my night shift. And what happened was there was like no action, no action, no action for about 45 minutes. And then all of a sudden, I had something like 3 perch, 3 jumbos hit in a hurry, like all within probably 5 minutes. And then all of a sudden, something bigger hit and it was coming up soft. So I was thinking, oh, maybe it's a walleye. And then as soon as he got to the bottom of the hole, he just zipped off and actually bit off my hook. So at that moment, I knew it was definitely a pike that I was dealing with. And that was unfortunate because that was one of my favorite lures there. But hey, what are you gonna do? Luckily, I had the means to make more. Are you seeing any action on your?
I've seen one. That's it.
Yeah. Well, I always find it funny. I have that dead stick over there with, you know, big juicy minnow. I haven't been having much luck with dead sticks this year.
I find it just jigging something seems to work way better.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know why, but it does.
I've had years where it's like the dead stick was the one, and then this year not so much. Check on my salted minnow here. Still on. Yep, still got it. All right. Oops. I'm getting a situation where I think my lines and rods sit in the back of my truck all the time, and so I need to defrost them because they're all like wet and like they're starting to freeze to the.
At least you can leave your stuff in the truck.
Yeah, well, yeah, that is a thing.
I don't have that luxury.
Yeah, I mean, it's mostly just my rods and stuff that I leave in the. I probably shouldn't after being friggin' robbed last year, but sometimes I leave them in there. So Daniel Ristic, how are you doing? So yeah, Christian, it seems like we're gonna have some pretty nice weather today and tomorrow, and I think it colds up on. Maybe it's Sunday that it gets cold again. So probably I'm gonna predict you're gonna have a great weekend of fishing. You know what, Paul? I actually made a whole bunch of stickers last year, and I just never really got them out there. Um, So I will. I'll show you I'll send you a picture of what they look like. It's basically just Coke machine face kind of thing, you know. A few people have got them. Sometimes I put them in people's packages, but a lot of times if there were ever any kids or anything that people were buying lures from me and they had kids, I'd give them a sticker or two. So Specky Fishing says a lot of walleye, a few keepers. So who is your favorite operator? If you don't mind me asking. So Nick Bruce said you got a 3-pound smallie. I've caught a couple over the years, never consistently.
They just don't fight in winter.
I actually the ones I caught were like fighting like summertime, you know? It was crazy.
I got one last weekend, just dead weight.
Just dead weight, huh? Yeah, no, I've seen them on my camera too, like other times I've been fishing when it's been clear down there. And yeah, the smallies, they just don't seem like they're very hungry in the winter. But you imagine they got to eat. Daniel Ristic says, good brother, having a great year on the ice. How have you been doing? I had a really good last Saturday there. That day was pretty bopping. You know, walked out on the ice, feeling a little rough after hanging out with my brother and his buddies, and then got to get on the ice, and the perch came along. So G Star, you go tomorrow, huh? So G Star, when you're saying you're hoping for jumbos and burns, you must mean burbs. I thought that said and buns for a second. It's because the snow is melting on my phone here, so it's hard to read some things. Burbs, there you go. So Nick Bruce, you say that was the first small you caught through the ice, huh? It's good. So G Star says caught quite a few smallies during the winter, always perching and using tiny baits. Yeah. Yeah, one day I think my buddy and I caught like 3 or 4 all at once, and that was like exceptional. And over the years, I think I caught some out by the Manitou Islands once in the wintertime. That was it. But yeah, I haven't caught any pike yet this year. Haven't landed them at least. I was gonna go check out my dead stick over there. Check my minnow still on there. Put this rod right here. Okay. Need a rod holder on this thing. All right. Well, the minnow's gone. Somebody came and heisted it. Stealing your last.
They're going away today anyway.
There's a juicy chub you got in there. Yeah, I wonder if I had had my jaw jacker on there, if I would have. Yeah. Like I said, I prefer that one that's the. It's like got a little metal piece that goes in the end of your rod. I find that works better than the jaw jackers do.
You're talking about the one I got here, the Celsius one.
No, no. That one's pretty much exactly a jaw jacker. These other ones are, they sell them in Canadian Tire. It's like a tube, and they fold up really, really well. I have no idea where I put mine. Use the old rod case holder. Yeah, so the bullet one I'm talking about is oh, here we go. Gotcha. Okay. Another fish coming up here. Oh, it's a wally. Little guy. There you go. Maybe, I don't know, I give him 12 inches. Off he goes. Yeah, not a giant. Yeah, I need a bell on that other rod there, or else I'm never gonna know. Unless he like really hooks himself well. All right. Another garlic salty minnow down there. I feel like the other one's called the trigger or something like that. No, that one's called the trigger, right?
It says Celsius.
Oh.
I don't know. I've given up on it. So.
Yeah. No.
It's a glorified rod holder now.
Yeah, I was in the store the other day and I saw a jaw jacker. And I was thinking to myself, did I seriously pay $75 for this? Because that's what they're going for. I hope I got it on sale. I mean, there's probably a point in my life where, you know, I wasn't as tight with the cash. But since having a kid, you can't just be like, I'm going to throw $75 into this rod holder, you know? But like I said, I made one once that actually worked better than a jaw jacker. I just need to find where that is. But I had like the jaw jacker's got only like a small little, like the rod goes over just like a tiny little trigger piece, whereas like mine had like a much longer trigger that you know, gave it a little more of an angle when the fish took it to like pull it out and to set it off. So maybe I should just make another one. Like after you're done here on Nipissing here, Jan, what's your plan for the future?
For ice fishing?
Yeah, do you ever go to any of the trout lakes or anything like that?
You know what? I'm not the most experienced on the ice, so once it's done here, I'm kind of done for the year. You know what I mean? Like during the year, like right now, I'd go to the trout lakes, but yeah, after March 15th, that's it. I'm done.
Right,
Yeah.
right. Yeah, you know, I find that definitely you got good ice on those lakes often right into April. I mean, I don't always go, and a lot of times I get skunked.
I like to get out for the splake once the lakes clear up. You know?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Do a bit of splake fishing.
There's a lot of good splake lakes.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, like I was hoping to get up to Temagami, like you were saying there, for some lake trout, but I just hear it's slush galore.
What What about you? You go after this? You go somewhere else, or?
Yeah, I mean, I'll be straight with you, man. Once the ice season shuts down on Nipissing, I get pretty down about it.
Yeah.
And it's hard. It's hard to motivate myself to do things. you know, but yeah, I figure there's one buddy I often go fishing with for specs and stuff like that. That I'm due. I haven't gone fishing with him. I don't think all ice fishing season. So hopefully we get out there. There's a we learned about a few lakes in the spring that hopefully are somewhat accessible. That's the problem is that a lot of the trout lakes that I might go to, they'll be down some sort of a road where the road's pretty much closed in the wintertime.
Oh yeah. If you want good fishing, it's not easy to get to.
Yeah.
So,
And a lot of times, yeah, if you wanted to get to the places, you would have to at least travel down the road by like a snowmobile or side by side or something for a significant distance. But like, like any of those lakes up McDougal Road, if they're
oh yeah.
like, is McDougal Road like open in the wintertime or is it?
It's hit and miss. It's hit and miss. I went up there, went for a trip right after a snowstorm, but it was the day after, and I figured they must have plowed the road by now, right?
Right.
It wasn't plowed.
Okay.
And then I've gone other times and it's perfectly plowed. So it's a long way to go, not knowing, right?
Yeah, that's the thing.
And the ice wasn't so good back there either when I went earlier.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, middle of the year, it was only like 6 inches and a lot of slush still. I haven't been back since, but
And how long ago was that?
probably end of January maybe.
Okay.
Yeah, like it wasn't the ice you were expecting to see for sure. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Well,
but then we've had like some crazy cold weather since, so it's probably changed.
yeah. Yeah, well, we'll see. We'll see what we do.
You fish up that area a lot?
I get up there every once in a while.
Yeah.
It used to be I try to get up to some of these trout lakes for my birthday, which is May, mid May. But these days I've just been going to Rice Lake and slaying massive carp like for a whole week. So that's usually what I do for my birthday.
Have you heard of the hair rig?
That's all I use. Yeah.
Okay, I was gonna say that. Okay, you need to use that, right?
Yeah.
Because the way they eat, it's like
Yeah.
right.
Once I figured out about the hair rig, that's when I actually started catching them pretty consistently. I watched so much like British carping videos until I sort of figured it out. No, I love that stuff. See a mark on yours?
Yeah, he just bumped it.
Oh, oh, there we go. Gone with the. I'm gonna say Wally from that bend. There you go. There you go.
Spit the hook right at the hole, man.
Yeah.
You see that? Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go. Finish him off.
Yeah.
Oh, that's not too bad, eh?
Yeah, that's probably. I give that guy like 16 inches. All right. So it hasn't been like a crazy bite, but fish are here. See if we can see a few more wallies. So we got 2 wallies, a couple perch. Check my salted minnow again. Are you using the live minnows now, or are you?
I was using just pinheads on the end of the jig.
Yeah. Like normally in life, I wouldn't necessarily put on those tiny minnows, but since there's been this whole tiny minnow situation going on this year, I haven't had too many problems.
Can I tell you what did it for me? I was the same like that. I never used it. I was like, why wouldn't you use a big minnow, right? Like
Right.
Big meal, nice easy meal for the effort.
Yeah.
One day we had a mixture, right? Regular minnow, nothing.
Really?
Pinhead, boom.
Really.
I don't, and that changed it for me. So I give them the respect,
Yeah, yeah. Sorry, I missed a whole bunch of comments here. Um, see. Species. Have a good night, buddy. Paul, are the muskie in the lake? There's definitely muskie in the lake. I've never caught one hard water. So Michael Raswich says, I've watched your live fishing a couple times this year. Do you ever catch anything? Sometimes. Sometimes we catch stuff. Like today's actually one of the better days. But there are most definitely ones where there was nothing caught. It was interesting though. I was thinking about that last week when I was catching a bunch of perch. And I thought to myself, like, I was sitting out there from 11 till probably 7 o'clock. And the funny thing about it is that over the course of the day, I caught a nice, very nice stack of jumbo perch. But if you were to take 1 hour out of that whole event and see how many fish I caught, I might only catch one or two during that 1 hour. But if you spanned it over 8 hours, there were all kinds of flurries and whatnot of fish coming through. But yeah, so there are definitely lots of live streams that I've done where I've caught nil or minimal, but that's fishing for you. So G Star, they say to go a 2 to 4 pound line when perching or pan fishing. Now, I know. I find, I guess if you're in an area where the perch are very touchy about line, I find they tend to be kind of pigs. When you find where they are, they seem to go for anything they can get their mouth on. So Daniel Ristic says, yes, there is. A guy was out with Fish Bay last week. 45 plus inch tiger muskie. Wow.
That would be awesome, eh?
Yeah.
Because pike fight amazing through the ice, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So you can only imagine what that's gonna fight like.
Yeah. Yeah. I guess the only downside is because they'd be out of season. You'd have to get them right back in the hole, right in a hurry.
Our biggest pike came right off here, Kinsman.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You know, I've never caught like a really big pike through the ice. Well, I haven't caught any really big pike overall. Probably maximum like 10 pounds. You know, but it's all been summertime. I know there's people who have fishing for pike down real well. From what I hear, you got to go in the spring, like right before they do their breeding, and you use big baits and do everything really slow. Yeah, G Star, I usually use, I think, a 10-pound fluorocarbon line pretty much for everything, with the exception of carp fishing when I throw out the 20 to 30-pound line. Carrie Toutant, how are you doing? Specky fishing, I usually have a bell on my dead stick. I usually have a jaw jacker too for that. But the bell on my dead stick, my kid likes stealing them and ringing them. So that's where it is. It's wherever he put it. So I need to keep a stash of bells on hand. I wonder. Oops. Don't think I have a bell in here. I did once. I had a kid. Kid moved them on me. So tough guy 4952. Say you were here last weekend. 16 perch, no walleye keepers. Paul Brown, yes. Spec trekking is going to be a much bigger thing for me this year. I was just trying to figure out how to set up me and my buddy to have our cameras working better, and so that it's a lot easier for me to edit things. So we had a lot of good times last year, and a few times we actually caught fish. And one time we actually caught like basically our limit of fish. So I'm starting to get spec fishing in the blood. I'm still learning, but it's pretty good. So Daniel Ristic, you said you were out with them in January, and it was a slaughter fest. Everyone came home with their limit of pickerel and a bunch of perch. Awesome. Yeah, I heard from a lot of people that got out for the first week of ice fishing that it was very good. Just going through some of these comments here. Yeah, yeah. Kids are definitely attracted to bells. When my kid was really young, I used to just buy him a couple of packs of the plastics with no hooks or anything, and just he'd play with those while we were fishing. It was a good system. Kept him from playing around with my hook filled lures. But yeah, definitely my bells all seem to go missing. I need like a buy myself a case of bells just for this purpose. Because in reality, I got my rod over there, dead stick, and it's like unless the fish hooked itself and it was bent over, I probably wouldn't even know. This is getting dark now, eh? Oh, we got 7 more minutes to go. Hopefully the fish start biting, or some more fish come. Otherwise, it's nice to see. I don't know how much you guys can see. When I used to live on the lake, I used to enjoy looking around at the whole North Bay waterfront. The lights turn on. But yeah, it's funny through the phone you can't really see much of it. Like you can see the brighter ones, but not everything. Have you ever gone skiing at the ski hill here in North Bay?
No.
Did you ever do like skiing in your life?
Yeah, I was good at downhill skiing. Yeah,
Okay.
I did it at Mansfield when I was growing up.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But no, I've never done it. You've done it here?
No, no, I don't think I've skied in probably 30 years, buddy. I liked it. I used to really like it. Oh, here we go. Come on. Come on. It's got to be a wally. Oh, he's turning his nose up at it. And he's gone. No, no, he's coming back. Bite it. And he's down there, even rising right up. And back down he goes. Huh. There you go. Every once in a while, my screen gets all. Oh, there he is again. Come on. Yeah, I think on the last live stream where it was me and my brother, he caught like a real nice, decent jumbo. But on his live scope there, you could see like I wish they didn't cost so much because they would be awesome to have. But you'd see the fish like come up and like rise up, and you see them like really like looking at it. It's not just like a blip on the screen, you know. And it was cool to watch. But there were a lot of like ones that just looked and then went away. But yeah, it was kind of a slow bite that night. But it was funny though, even the next day, because I'm going to be releasing a video of the perch that I caught there, and it was like everyone else was fishing, and I was doing really well, and everyone else wasn't. So I had the magic hole, the magic lure, or just my old fishing zone was happy to see me again. All right, so we got 2.5 minutes left to go. All right, Nick Bruce, have yourself a good one. Like right now is a situation where like definitely my fish finder just looks like a glow on my screen. But you said like at home it doesn't look so bad.
No, I can see it fine.
Huh? Yeah. Huh? I don't know where that fish went. Maybe he's heading in your direction, buddy. Come on. Well, I think it is high time to wrap up this stream. See, can't see anything on here. But thanks everybody for watching. It's getting a little dark now, so we're gonna wrap it up. But I hope everybody's gonna have a banger weekend on the ice. And thanks for joining me for some couple of jumbos. We got a couple of walleyes here. Not a wild night, but lots of fun anyway. Have yourselves a great night.